Morning, welcome back. Always great to see you. Funny thing is, when I swiped your card, it said insufficient funds, so I'm gonna go. Okay, so paying someone for love or companionship isn't a new revolutionary concept. We've been doing it for generations. Back in the day, in ye old brothels. If the price is right, Drew Carey would materialize out of thin air with a wheel of potential friends you can spend the night with. Things have definitely changed over the years. What is revolutionary is Asia, coming up with new interesting ways to monetize these relationships. They saw a gap in the market of lonely singles in your area, and filled it with the hottest people and non-people you'll ever see. All we need is your name, ID, and the last 4 digits of your credit card. There's services that let you rent a boyfriend or girlfriend to scratch that relationship itch you've been having, where you can eat a meal and spend quality time together as couples do. After your allotted time is up, you just move on with your day as usual. No need to deal with all the drama of being in a relationship. Want a different experience where you get to interact with many attractive hotties in one sitting? Check out these NPC theme parks. Asian guys who look like they came straight out of a video game are just strolling around, waiting for you to hit the A button so they can start their NPC dialogue with you. Well, now that I'm looking closer, not a whole lot of talking going on. Oh my god. Well, that's forward. Hey, good on these guys for being able to do this without laughing. Me as an NPC, a tired innkeeper or an old maiden type of wizard. Did you put your name on the goblet of fire? Okay, what if you hate outside? Dealing with the hassle of commuting somewhere and interacting with gross, real people. I know, those can be annoying. Check out these AI husbandos and waifus. The perfect significant other, since they can be anything you want. Cute, funny, available to talk to at any time of the day. Plus, they don't smell or have to go number 2. Ugh, lucky.
Babe, can you teach me Chinese?
Of course, little kitten. Let's start with something simple. For example, hello in Chinese is ni hao. Say it back to me, babe.
你好.
Damn, that sounded perfect. You're a natural, babe. Now,
is anyone blushing? Why am I blushing? Video games, where the main appeal is a big roster of attractive characters, have gotten a big boost in popularity lately. Genshin Impact, the otome genre like Love and Deep Space, raking in the big bucks. In double digits. I'm talking like 30 million USD in just 1 year. These sexy clusters of pixels can already retire at 8 months old. Damn, what are these people paying for? Must be really engaging, with fun gameplay mechanics, maybe? The only thing I see is great gowns, beautiful gowns.
You shouldn't do that.
And last but not least, the most lucrative form of capitalizing on parasocial relationships is the live streaming industry. We've seen it time and time again. Entertainers who lock in for 8 hours, 7 days a week, that end up cultivating a super loyal fan base to support them, which eventually leads to some fans getting overly invested in their favorite streamer. So after normalizing these parasocial relationships fueled by capitalism, chat, as a society, are we cooked? Yeah, maybe, but not all the way. Medium rare at most. People are feeling lonelier and lonelier every year. Going out, meeting people naturally, and actually becoming friends with them is a lot easier said than done. On one side, it's cool seeing people find new ways to fulfill their social needs. Sure, these types of relationships aren't the norm, but if it's between two consenting people with healthy expectations that these aren't a replacement for real-life interactions, then we good. Until it's not good. As with all human experiences, there's a science behind it. Even with gifting money during a live stream, the live aspect makes it feel like this is a normal person within reach compared to an A-list celebrity behind 55 bodyguards and 55 PR people. It's all in real time, so there's a higher chance the streamer you're supporting will notice you. And if you consistently show up during their streams, you'll build that dopamine-inducing rapport with them. You'll give them the money and they give you a thank you.
Thank you so much for the sub. Oh my god, guys.
It also feels like you're in an exclusive little community full of people with the same interests as you. Like a sports team or a D&D group that gets together every week. Except the activity is one person entertaining everyone. There is a slippery slope with this type of environment. It's a breeding ground for people who are chronically online, using these relationships to replace real ones, leading to situations where someone goes overboard with their affection towards a one-sided friendship. Like that man who sold his baby for $16,000 to a couple looking to adopt, and then blew all of that money on tipping live streamers. He was arrested afterwards, since this whole thing was very illegal. He traded in his child like a rare Pokemon card, only to end up broke and in jail. Just cause you can have a kid doesn't mean you should have one. You can't even relax, even as a baby. Gotta lock in at all times. Lonely people are an easy target for these types of business models, where you have someone keeping you company in exchange for money or your time. There is promise of a type of intimacy when you become a fan of an influencer you interact with daily. Sometimes it's scary seeing how easy it is to escape from the sucky parts of life just by using the internet. Kongto, a 32-year-old fan, lives at home with his parents in Miaolai, Taiwan. Having never kissed a girl, Kongto feels more capable of expressing love to a live streamer on the internet than to a woman in real life. He watches his favorite live streamer Yu Tong in private, fearing his parents' reaction if they learn of his habit. Becoming a fanboy or a fangirl is a lot more accessible now since we all have computers and phones. You can fall down a rabbit hole of a random you never heard of before and come out the other end as a superfan in a day. I subscribe to the mindset people can do whatever they want with their life as long as they're not hurting anyone. Don't matter to me, I got my own to worry about. There is, however, still a bit of a negative connotation when you hear someone say they're a fan of watching live streams. They sort of have a brand image to uphold. Here, check out this live stream watcher starter pack. Dark, dingy basement, bed rotting, hasn't left room all day, minus 50 in social skills, not a single drop of water was consumed since yesterday. That me? I think what's closer to reality is people watching live streams more casually, or they'll have it on in the background where they're not interacting with it 100% of the time. Kongto is one of many bachelors who watch live streams to combat loneliness. This is especially prevalent in Asian countries, where many young men must leave their family villages for work in city factories. Without a familiar face for miles around, they turn to live streams to make their new environment less isolating. If this helps, then good. On the other hand, it's kind of like an illusion of socially connecting with someone. It really depends on each person's situation and how reliant they are. Will they have a full-on breakdown if their favorite creator gets Thanos snapped away? Or will the world keep turning for them? At the same time, might these live streamers be using their fans' loneliness to exploit them for profit? Well, sorta kinda, possibly yes.
今天给大家讲一下怎么样走进土豪的世界。我相信每一个主播其实都想要多拉几个土豪用户嘛，然后提高自己的销售。
Although, it does take two to tango. No one's forcing you to give away all your life savings just for a chance to be noticed, but it's also scummy to zero in on emotionally vulnerable people. It's like this giant spectrum. There's a lot of online personalities with superfans who support them in a healthy way with boundaries. The creator isn't your BFF, and your fans are also not your BFF. I'd say most of these relationships fall somewhere in the middle, and it should stay that way because the extreme side gets dicey. In recent news, a man in China took things too far when he became obsessed with a streamer. And not in the fun Mariah Carey song type of way. Mr. Hong, a simple fellow who ate plain steam buns every day so he could save up money. Not for bills or on a down payment on a house, but to send to his favorite streamer in the form of gifts and tips, which ended up costing him around 100,000 USD? Okay. Choices were made, buns were eaten, money was spent. We can feel bad for him, but ultimately it's his responsibility to budget his finances. I think we overspent a little bit here. How about we cut back on the buns? At least he wasn't blindly donating. He did have an end goal. Mr. Hong wanted to hear his favorite streamer call him brother. Hell yeah, brother. Streams will usually have a ranking metric that shows the amount people have donated, with the highest gifters at the very top. If you're the big dog who's spent the most money, there's more weight to what you have to say. These are referred to as big brothers in China, and the streamer will usually prioritize keeping these rich fans around by giving them more attention. And when you think about it, the one with the most power isn't the streamer themselves, but the person with the most money. All communities will have some sort of hierarchy, even within fandoms. The older brother term in Asia doesn't always mean someone who's blood related. None of that weird King Charles II with the loose jaw stuff going on here. It's like when a girl calls an older guy oppa in Korean or oni-chan in Japanese. These can be terms of endearment you say to a close friend or to someone you're familiar with who's older than you. Even in casual settings around strangers, social hierarchy is really important in Asian countries because it shows respect. Mr. Hong just wanted a really expensive Big Brother shout out, which he probably could have gotten on sale somewhere else. So when 100,000 USD wasn't enough to get Mr. Hong his brother title, he started to steal copper materials from his family's business to sell for extra cash. It got to the point where he stole over 300,000 USD and sent every last penny to the streamer, which was basically his family's life savings. Looking into this gave me a jump scare at how common these cases are. Although there are a lot of people who do have the extra money to spend.
也是心理寂寞吧，然后就需要一个精神的寄托。一般是一言不合先刷礼物，进来 进来，什么也没跟你说，就觉得他其实可能在房间里待了很久。
现在我还差6万17级，我现在这个号是48万。
East Asia has come so far technology-wise, but they have some of the loneliest people living there. A lot of factors come into play. The super high pressure to do well in school, the toxic work environment that sucks up all your free time. It's getting a lot harder to meet people. And all these new inventions make it that much easier to become a hermit on a whim. Don't feel like you belong in any part of society? Isolate yourself at home and be completely fine. Not mentally, of course, but for basic needs. You got a roof over your head, all your meals can be delivered, plus all your entertainment and social needs can be met through a screen. I know some of you are probably thinking, this is my ideal day off, which is okay to do once in a while, but not for long periods of time. The traditional route of school, good job, married, child, buy car, house, then die is becoming less of a reality for most. It also seems like people are realizing, you know what, maybe this isn't the path for me. Even though there's still a bunch of societal pressure, it's a tad more acceptable nowadays to find a different way to live your life.
'Cause you stress, me stress, we all stress.
You know how stressful it is to try and maintain all your relationships nowadays? It's becoming more enticing to just pay someone for social interactions rather than going out and finding them naturally. You know, as they say, money can't buy happiness, but it can sure solve a lot of your problems. Host clubs in Japan are really popular spots that cater to a female clientele, where women will pay attractive men to keep them company for the night while drinking. And nothing really happens inside the club other than just chatting. It's mainly the attention and companionship people are seeking without all the baggage.
ホストの人たちって何をする人たちなのかっていうのをちょっと教えていただけますか？
例えば女性だったりのお酒を飲む場を楽しませることだったり、あとやっぱりちょっと寂しくてちょっと異性とこう飲みたいなっていう女の人もいるんで。
And if you're not into the bar scene, a man in Japan made a living advertising himself as someone you can hire to just stand there and do nothing. His clients like having his presence around when they feel like going out but don't want to deal with bothering a friend or feeling the pressure to socialize. And if you need to talk about your problems, he's a great sounding board. This is basically consensual trauma dumping. Anyone ever feel this? There have been times when I found it was easier to tell a stranger I'll never see again something kind of personal compared to a friend. They don't even have to say anything. If you cosplay as a wall with ears and eyes, that's good enough for me. An introvert's ideal friend. Wall. I always make Sims references, but this is literally having someone's presence fill up your social media for the week. You know, we don't all have to follow the same path. If you want to spend your money shaving those hot guys in space with no facial hair, then more power to you. From an outside perspective, it's easy to look at these people and feel bad for them. But paying for companionship is really a case-by-case basis. There are healthy ways to include parasocial relationships into your life, so it ends up in a net positive. I invested a lot of my time and money into content creators, artists, and K-pop idols who don't even know I exist. And I'm totally fine with that, because they're providing me with entertainment and comforting background noise. What helps me from becoming too chronically online is making sure I get up and go outside at some point. The perfect ratio is one real-life interaction for every 5 attractive game character or online interactions.
This your exclusive service?
That sounds sus, since I made it up. Just go outside and talk to human, okay? But before you do that, don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed yourself here. That's one more food for the YouTube algorithm and one more engagement for me. Have a good day, try not to be dumb, and see you in the next one.